Have you ever walked into a pet store and seen the adorable puppies they have for sale? It is very hard not to fall in love with this cute face and their puppy breath. However, this is a trap. There is another dark and sad side to the story behind these puppies. I fell into the trap of visiting pet stores and wanting to buy a cute little puppy from one. I'm glad I decided to wait because I heard about puppy mills. After hearing about them, I spent many hours researching and understanding how inhumane they are. I then decided to turn to the local humane society and adopted 2 dogs from there, and am very grateful I did. If you are looking to get a pet in the near future, this speech may help you decide where to go to get your new best friend. Almost every puppy at a pet store is from a puppy mill. And because of the horrible conditions of the puppy mills and overpopulation of dogs already, the best way to buy your next dog is through a local shelter. So, a puppy mill, or the dogs that you buy from a pet store, come from this background. A puppy mill, according to the ASPCA, is a large-scale commercial dog breeding operation where profit is given priority over the well-being of dogs. This is very inhumane, and the dogs are rarely taken into consideration. All that puppy mills are is profit for the owner. This takes to the effect of what it has on the dogs. Since there is just profit in mind at a puppy mill, there is no veterinary care. These dogs could have flea infested, disease infested, and the puppy mill owner will not take them to the vet. They will just fight it out, and if they don't, then they pass and there's no remorse or anything. They're also very, very overcrowded. They have found as many as 50 dogs in one kennel, and they're just piled on top of each other. And it's very sad sight and very inhumane. They're also, the females are forced to breed at every heat, and this takes a very negative toll on the dog because they're not meant to breed as much as they're being bred, and whenever they're no longer able to breed, they are killed in an inhumane way because they're no longer any use to the puppy mill owner. Their living quarters are terrible. Their cages, they just have, they literally sleep and eat in their poop and pee, and most of them are stacked on top of each other like this picture, and so usually their poop just falls down on the dogs below them, or they sleep on it. They don't have a bed, nothing, and some puppies and puppy mills never see the light of day. They are trapped in their cage all day, their whole lives, and this is also very inhumane. And all these dogs are forced to live in confinement their whole lives. They're often never let out of their kennels and are there solely to reproduce and no other cause. Which takes us to the problems from buying a dog from the pet store. Obviously, what we just talked about, the inhumane treatment of the puppy mills where they are coming from, is the first reason why you shouldn't buy a dog from the pet store. The next reason is because of the lack of veterinary care, oftentimes, and where the puppies come from, oftentimes their mothers that are very sick that have them could pass down the disease they had, or they could take the disease from living there that short amount of time over to the pet store, and they could be completely fine at the pet store, and when you bring them home, they could spike their disease and die after you have already bought them. Also, buying from a pet store supports this puppy mill and the inhumane treatment of them because you are buying from them. The next problem is overpopulation of dogs. This is an issue everywhere and has been for a very long time. They're everywhere. And this leads to overpopulation in our shelters and not enough of people adopting them. So whenever the shelters run out of room, it leads to euthanasia and putting dogs down that could have been prevented if we would have turned to the shelter instead of buying from a store. It also leads to more stray dogs out on the streets that risk them being injured or being run over and such. However, all of this is very sad and inhumane, but there is a way to help this very severe issue. The first way you can help is to adopt a dog from the shelter and not buy from a pet store. There is many local shelters in every town where you can go and find your new best friend instead of visiting a pet store where you know where they came from. Another way is to find different charities online supporting ending puppy mills and donate to their fund. And another way is to spread the word, because not many people know about where these puppies are coming from, and just by telling someone about a puppy mill could help put an end to them. So now that you see what happens at a puppy mill and how you can prevent supporting them, I will wrap up my speech. The best way to bring home your new best friend is to visit a local animal shelter to help stop the overpopulation of dogs and inhumane treatment of them at puppy mills. We've seen where puppies at pet stores come from, so don't buy your next pet from them. Rescue one from a local shelter. Bring home your best friend like I did, and do it the humane way.